Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the latest news where 11 Sikhs Hindus from Afghanistan has come to India. So now in this context, we have to understand that there was a latest Citizenship Amendment Act in 2019 which was passed by the central government, which amended the 1955 Citizenship Act. So now this kind of movement from Afghanistan to India come under the ambit of that particular bill. So now let's try to see what exactly were the people and how they have been coming to India and what kind of arrangement they will have. So around 11 members of Sikh community, including the one Sikh community leader who was kidnapped and later released, has came to India, and they have been provided with the visa arrangement. So they will have long-term visa arrangement to stay in India, and the government of India has actually, the Ministry of External Affairs has applauded the Afghanistan government to actually facilitated the movement. So these are the basic things which were in news. The Ministry of External Affairs has talked about it. Now in this whole scenario, let's also try to understand what Citizenship Amendment Act is all about. So Citizenship Amendment Act was much in news back in December when it was the bill, when it was tabled in the House, and then later it became an act, and there was lots of protests going around in Delhi as well as in other parts of the country to oppose that bill. So it is very important that we know what exactly were its feature, irrespective of the political spectrum or the kind of protests which were there. We need to understand the features of the Amendment Act. So Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019 amended the Citizenship Act of 1955. Now main purpose of this act is to provide the kind of citizenship to some of the minorities in the Muslim dominated countries who were persecuted. So the reason for persecution, and the communities who would be given certain kind of leeway in terms of citizenship include your six communities, which is Hindus, Sikhs, Jain, Parsis, Buddhist and Christian. So these six communities would be provided with little requirements of documents, and they would be provided with the citizenship in India. That was the amendment which was done. Now these six communities, there is also a clause that who migrated to India till the end of 2014. So the people who have been migrated to India till 2014 would be included from these community, and if they have fled from countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So these are the three countries from which, if they are coming from, they would be provided with the citizenship of India by less requirement of documents. So these are the certain features of the act. Now it seeks to give Indian nationality only to the non-Muslim refugees, and that too from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So the Muslim dominated countries of Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan, the people, the minorities from there, the non-Muslim minorities from these countries would be provided the Indian citizenship. Now let's also try to see that countries from which minorities are allowed include only Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, but not the Myanmar or Sri Lanka. So the persecution of Tamilians like in the Sri Lanka, as well as the Rohingya crisis which was there, they were not allowed under this Citizenship Amendment Act. Now also one thing you have to understand is what kind of process does it include. So we can have the citizenship in India by some process called as naturalization, and for normal foreigners it takes 12 years, but for these persecuted minorities from three countries would be given a kind of a leeway where they will be able to get a fast track citizenship in 6 years. So that is one of the major feature and major aim of this act. Now let's just revise the fact that there are like six communities which will be provided with the nationality. These are your Hindus, Sikhs, Jain, Parsis, Christian and your Buddhist. And apart from that, till what time they have to be in India to actually gain benefit from this amendment? They have to be in India till 2014. So if they have migrated in India till 2014, they would be provided benefit under the latest amendment. Also, the three countries from which they have to be coming from, they were only the people who would be eligible. Now these are your Afghanistan, Pakistan, as well as your Bangladesh. So these are three countries, six communities. If they have migrated to India till 2014, they would be provided with certain kind of measures through which they can get the fast track citizenship to India. The reason for it is basically, if you can actually see, it's they are persecuted, like the minorities has been persecuted in these countries, and because of it the amendment was done. Now let's also try to understand what kind of citizenship and how the Indian national gets citizenship. So if you see what the citizenship amendment will talks about, first of all it will amend the Citizenship Act of 1955. So the 2019 Citizenship Amendment Act replaced the or amended the Citizenship Act of 1955. Now let's just try to see what kind of methods of accusation of citizenship are available in India. So first of all, by birth, if you are like born in India, you will have citizenship. By descent, if your parents had been Indian, you can get a citizenship of India. By registration, like when you are actually applying and registering for citizenship, and by incorporation of territory. So like for an example, India incorporated some territory which was earlier not the under the Indian Union, but later it acquired it. In that case, the people who were living in that territory will also be eligible for getting citizenship of India. So these are the four basic methods by which citizenship acquire. And now the one which actually is amended by this particular amendment act is through the process of naturalization. Now this particularly is available for foreigners, so like they can apply for the nationality of India if they have been staying in India for like 12 months. So if they have been living in India for 12 months and they could apply for it, after that they have to be here for another 11 years and then total 12 years. So like in 12 years they could get the citizenship of India through the process of naturalization. The all the normal foreigners or everybody, like for an example, even a Muslim who want to come to India from Pakistan, he could apply for the same process in which he could get the citizenship of India through the process of naturalization. Now what is done in this particular amendment bill is the only criteria by which a foreign citizen will not get a citizenship if he is an illegal migrant. So if he is coming to India without any documents, he will not be provided with the citizenship. Now this particular amendment act, what it does, it amended it and proposed two kind of scenario, like for the sixth community that we had discussed earlier, and if they are coming from three countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, they would not need to have all the required document and they will still be able to apply. Now like earlier case, they cannot apply if they don't have the improper documents and if they are considered as illegal migrant. But in case of like these six communities who were persecuted in the country, they could come to India and apply for Indian nationality even if they don't have all the required documents. So that is one of the kind of benefit they could get. Then also the time period of naturalization has itself been decreased from 12 years to 7 years. So instead of like 12 years, these particular communities can get Indian nationalities within the 7 year itself. So these are the basic changes which were made in the Citizenship Amendment Act. From your mains point of view, you have to know your key provision of this act. Also try to broaden and see that if there is a question like does it really hamper the secular nature of Indian constitution, does it go against it. So you have to be not critical as such, but you have to figure out the constructive criticism, like what kind of things that this bill left out, what are the good things which this act particularly incorporate. So these kind of things will actually help you write a more enriched and fulfilling answer. So I hope you have liked this video and understood all the features that we have discussed. For any doubt, please comment. Thank you.